She wanted a Queen Latifah lookalike orchestrating the wedding, and then she wanted giraffes all around the room in pink.
It's not about the couple fell out, it's about that we had a baby instead.
If there's one piece of final advice you could leave our couples listening. So Hayley Baker, welcome to Behind the Proposal and Before the Aisle. So what is it our listeners need to know how you've got into planning over 2,000 weddings for happy couples?
I have been incredibly privileged to work at some outstanding wedding venues, and my career started behind the scenes within the kitchen. So 15 years, creating food, working with some amazing chefs. And my journey took me into a completely different direction and came front of house. Started to learn wedding planning industry, and from there the doors opened fully, and I grabbed every single opportunity to become a fabulous event manager and absolutely thriving on it.
So on that, so I've obviously done some research on you, Hayley. So you were a commis chef, I think, at Penny Hill Park.
I was
is where you
indeed.
started. You became a head chef. You talk to us a bit about that kind of process and how your kind of journey has gone along, and especially for our couples out there. I suppose there's two sides of this. There's one side, which is you're a event manager now, but there are also couples who are probably planning their weddings, personal events, and thinking about food and beverage. So if there's any kind of insights that you can bring to the table, any kind of hints or tips that couples could find useful.
I think my experience as working in the kitchen has given me an incredible understanding of what a couple are looking for on the wedding day, and also the understanding of time management and the elements that really bring everything together onto the day. The chefing environment is fast-paced, incredibly dramatic. There is a huge amount going on into the kitchen, whereas the front of house is more calm and relaxed and refined. And it's quite nice to understand both sides of that world, really, that you can guide each couple, certainly with the event management and the timing guidelines, but also with the understanding of the food service and how long it takes to get your canapes and your main courses out, and whether it's good to have a buffet style service or it's a plated meal service. So I think all of those elements are really great to be able to share.
And in your chefing days, have you done many weddings?
Loads.
Got any good stories?
I think, service is always fast-paced and fun, and it is a complete juggle within the kitchen environment.
Right.
You'll always have a few hiccups along the way. You might send out the odd dessert without a bit of coulis on the plate, but it's all the final checks. And I think the thing about being a great head chef and commis chef, even for that, you are learning constantly throughout all of the peers around you as well. And I think that's one thing: keep your eyes open throughout every single experience, and you gain so much more from it.
So Hayley, how did the transition work, going from head chef of what I think is a double A rosette restaurant? Did I get that right?
So no, I was head chef at a sort of a wonderful hotel establishment,
Right.
and then moving into sort of the golf clubs. But I have transitioned from that, very luckily, into finding a position that was looking for a head chef within the
Right.
wedding industry, and they gave me the opportunity to work into the kitchens. I was relief for the head chef over there, and also opening up new venues as well. And when that kind of came to a close, I moved straight into the front of house as well. So I had loads of amazing opportunities. Yes.
Right. And so for our listeners that don't know you as well as I might, so what are you doing now? Where are you at?
I am at the fabulous Froyle Park,
Okay.
which is a beautiful 16th century Jacobean manor house set in
Wow.
the rolling hills of Surrey and Hampshire. I mean, it is a completely beautiful countryside location. And you head up to this amazing building, tree lined, fountain in front of it. It is the wow factor of wedding venues. And, you step through those front doors and you are envisioned with high ceilings, chandeliers and oak paneling and beautiful natural light coming into it. So it's spectacular from the absolute outset.
Fine. And Hayley, you've been there now 2 years.
Yes.
So I've been naturally at the venue many times. We're one of your exclusive partners, especially when it comes to proposals. But what is it you think that makes couples come to Froyle? What is the kind of classic Froyle, couple, if I can call it that?
Very much so. So we are a completely exclusive venue, which is the lovely thing. There is nothing happening at that venue apart from that wonderful attention to detail to that one wedding. And I think that's the draw. And also, obviously, set into the countryside. So it is a home from home. And you very much treat it as your home as well. It's being able to have the opportunity to create your perfect day into this one beautiful establishment. I think a lot of other wedding venues are very kind of directional about their approach to how couples can create their own day, whereas Froyle Park is a blank canvas, and a very unique space, not just the manor house itself, but this beautiful, exquisite marble ballrooms, capacity up to 300 for seating, and 4 amazing locations for the ceremony. Obviously, our fairy tale proposal happens under the exclusive dome as well.
Yeah.
It is such a unique location, and I don't think there is another one out there like it, with the rolling hills behind, and you've got a few cows and sheep into the background. It just makes it absolutely perfect and dreamy.
It is. We have definitely had some proposals at Froyle Park where we've had sheep and little lambs kind of, in the background. So
Saying
that has
hello.
been exactly saying hello. Absolutely. Um, I suppose it is. It has been difficult in some sense where you get a couple which is like we want those all edited out,
Yes.
but equally we get couples which is like, oh my god, this has made it kind of perfect. So maybe we start there actually for our listeners. So in terms of proposals, when was it the first time you kind of got into the world of kind of proposal planning?
I suppose very much when I joined Froyle Park. It's a brand new thing that's really taken its hold onto the wedding industry now. And I
Right.
think, couples are really wanting to express that one statement and that coming together as a couple and making that perfect moment,
Yeah.
and celebrating together, capturing the moment as well, which is, I think, a really lovely thing to be able to do. I think celebrations are so important, in memories and sharing with family as well. And to be able to do that on very much a personal level as well. I think Froyle Park is so important that it is exclusive. You are the only ones at the venue. You've got nobody else around you apart from the sheep and the cattle at the time. And it just makes that moment, perfect, because you're looking into each other's eyes. You haven't got any other distractions in life. And, it's that moment paused.
So just so our couples listening can understand, so when it comes to planning any kind of event, whenever we look at venues, a lot of the kind of venues that come to mind are naturally there's a lot of hotels which have ballrooms, banqueting spaces, and even when you're planning a wedding there, yes, you've hired the ballroom, but you also have other guests who are going to be there. Guests who might be staying overnight, guests who might be there for some of the restaurants, others who have just come for a drink at the bar. But when it comes to Froyle Park, I suppose that is what sets you apart, right? Like you said, it's completely exclusive. But it didn't always used to be the case, right? Because Froyle Park was a hotel at one point, as I
Yeah,
understand.
absolutely.
So is that what you think kind of the key kind of differentiator is for couples looking for a venue which they can have to themselves?
I think very much so. I mean, there are so many hotels around, and it's you don't want to be bumping into people that you haven't invited to your own wedding day.
Yeah,
You want to be able to relax in this fabulous house that you've, enjoyed for that one wedding day,
yeah.
and and leave your handbag down and know it's going to be back into the same place as well. The exclusivity is such a key element within the wedding planning, and that's something very much what our couples are looking for now.
Right. And is it just for the day, or can the couples actually have the whole Manor estate for, say, the weekend, the day before, the day after?
Yeah, we do lots. Certainly 4-day weddings where you'll enjoy, the run up and the build up, and there's certainly the different celebrations onto each day as well.
Right. I suppose we have a lot of Asian listeners, a lot of Asian clients as well. And I know Froyle Park does a lot of Asian weddings. I think it's one of your biggest drivers, right?
Very much so.
Can you talk us through what the kind of classic Asian wedding looks like, what those events look
I have to
like?
say they're my absolute favourite.
Wow.
I just love the colours, the vibrancy, the excitement, and you can see the guests arriving in beautifully dressed. I think one of my favourite parts of the day is definitely the dole entrance, welcoming
Okay.
the groom into the venue as well. It's such a stunning location. And I think that very much the capacity is a real win for Froyle Park as well. We've also just won the British Asian Wedding Industry Awards
Nice.
as well. So
Congratulations.
and I think that really celebrates and kind of understands why Froyle Park is one of the leading sort of Surrey, Hampshire venues within the area as well.
And so in terms of events, so you mentioned the door entrance would be on the day of the wedding itself.
Yes.
So have you housed things like, have you had pre-wedding events, haldi ceremonies, mehndi ceremonies?
Yes, absolutely. Mehndi ceremonies as well. The girls' hands are just
Yeah,
spectacular. I always get a little sneak peek and admire those as well. Yeah, absolutely everything and anything can be hosted here at Froyle
right.
Park as well. So yeah, we've got so many lovely different unique spaces, and I think people tend to use the venue slightly differently when they're doing certainly a 3 or 4 day event. They might have a smaller family group together for the Mehndi ceremony, obviously, and that might be hosted into the Great Hall with just background music on and quite a relaxed atmosphere. Obviously, completely different vibes to either the full traditional ceremonies or just the sort of reception time for them as well. So lovely different spaces, and I think again Froyle Park offers that uniqueness because we've got lots of different spaces, and each room has its own different pace and vibe to it. Our morning room has the beautiful mini grand piano in there, lots of lovely relaxed
Yeah,
seating, but wherever you are, you've got so much natural light coming in, and I just think it gives such a lovely flow, very much compared to the traditional sort of halls or the hotels
yeah,
where you are just in one room or being shuffled around a venue. This is your home. Froyle Park is your home for the day.
got it. And Haley, you mentioned, I think you said capacity of 300. Is it seated or standing?
So that is seated capacity. So,
Right,
so within the ballroom location, you can have full dining service,
right.
all on round tables, usually 10 per table, and that fits really lovely within that ballroom space, including top tables. And you've still got separate stage area for kind of bands and DJs and that sort of thing.
And in terms of residents, so, the groom's or, the bride's family staying over, what does the capacity look like in that sense?
So it's 66 guests, including our couple that can stay overnight as well,
Right,
which is really good numbers. And obviously, we've got local hotels nearby if there is an overflow of guests to stay
right.
over. I think the real key for Royal Park as well is that we have our fabulous night hideaway for the girls as well. So
Night
the night
hideaway.
hideaway.
Okay, what is
So
this?
it's a brand new launch for us, and I think it's lovely that the girls can arrive the day before the wedding. So it's 6 people in total. They are welcomed into the hideaway, which is this pamper room, pretty in pink, really lovely big communal area, and that's got mirrors in it. It's got the pink barber's chair, lovely pink sofa seating. I mean, when I'm doing show rounds as well, you watch the girls walk into this room and you just get that wow factor
And you call
moment.
it the hideaway?
We call it the
Okay,
hideaway.
that reminds me of Love Island.
So it's lovely, and then you can imagine the buzz and the atmosphere of all the girls being together. Also takes the stress away from doing any traveling on the wedding day as well. They simply wake up, still in their PJs, sit into those chairs, and the hair and makeup teams arrive to start all those fabulous preparations onto the day. And then generally moving up into the honeymoon suite to do the dress fitting. And then when we're doing show rounds, we get a lot of questions from our boys saying, well, where's my room?
I was going to ask you that.
So we had to create one. So recently, probably about a month and a half ago now, we've created our fabulous Groom's Lounge.
I've seen it. I have
And
seen it.
it is just a spectacular. And we've put beautiful plastering onto the walls and nice alcoves and created a really chilled out, lovely buzz vibe, very Insta friendly for all the photographs that they can come and do their finishing touches. And more importantly, have a game of snooker if they fancy it as well. The problem now is getting the boys out of the room. So
Actually, over to the wedding ceremony.
absolutely.
Fantastic. And Haley, in terms of, I know I mentioned you've done, I think, over 2,000 wedding events in your career.
Yes.
Thinking about Froyle Park, what is the most extravagant proposal you've done at Froyle Park?
Well, I think that's definitely through fairy tale proposals, and just I think watching the couple walk down the aisle together, seeing the amazement of our bride to be, I should say, of walking down that aisle, not knowing what she's turned up for, the expectations and I think the adrenaline buzz that must be absolutely flowing through them. But that dome location with the flowers and the hearts and the violinist
Yeah.
all coming together at that one perfect moment. And then you get to see our groom to be go down onto that one knee and you can hear the words, it's just absolutely spectacular.
And then I suppose, same question, but most extravagant wedding request you've had, or most
Oh,
extravagant
goodness
wedding you've
me.
seen.
Do you know what? I think there are so many interesting weddings these days. I think that's a really difficult answer. I have to say, I am blown away with the way that the wedding industry has moved so very quickly within the last 5 years with decor and really bringing the interpretation of the couple's ideas into place. As I say, it used to be very box scenario, this
Yeah.
is all we can do, but it just keeps growing and growing and growing. I think, again, my favorite things at the moment is the content creation,
Okay.
to get that one snapshot, and there's a lovely little image of videos that puts all of that fabulous day just into a 30-second clip. It's yeah, love it.
I suppose there will be naturally, we have a lot of clients who are planning the wedding at the moment, and there'll be a lot of listeners on this podcast thinking about, okay, what is that I can do different, right? How can I make my wedding stand out? What is the decor elements that I could maybe put in place which are different to, you know, my friend's wedding or my cousin's wedding? Coming back to that question of most extravagant wedding you've seen, if you had to choose one, could you kind of pinpoint and describe it for us?
Can I mention names of
Yeah, of course you
suppliers?
can.
Well, I'm gonna have to say it would be Victor Rose London.
Okay.
Their decor and, the way that they approach dressing a room and bringing everything together, is phenomenal. They can take a very blank space and just create so that you are feeling you're walking into a completely different room, flowing flowers and candles and dance floors. And they also tend to bring in kind of different top tables, chairs for those top tables and the important family members as well. So there's statement pieces throughout that wonderful space throughout the day.
Now, have you had any bizarre requests? As an example, I was actually on a call this morning, 8 a.m. with Tian, one of our planners in Sydney, and he said to me, "I've just got off the phone to a couple, well, to a lady. She was very hysterical as a personality, but she wanted a wedding for about, I think he said about 30 or 40 people in Sydney. She wanted a Queen Latifah lookalike orchestrating the wedding, and then she wanted drafts all around the room in pink.
Love
So
it.
again, Chen called me straight away. He's like, "Ricky, I've just had this request. Not too sure how we do this." So yeah, we've got this client in Sydney who wants to have a wedding. Queen Latifah needs to be there. There need to be giraffes in the room who are all pink, maybe flamingos in the background. But you must, after having 2,000 events, you must have seen something which is you've thought to yourself, this is weird. Can you tell us about that?
I think that probably the strangest request is to having an arcade room. We
An
had
arcade
we had
room.
an arcade room, so, lots of machines, ping what is it called? Pinball machines in
Yeah.
place, the old Atari, little computer
Wow.
games. So that was, again, very much a one-off. I love the animals. You've got to bring a llama in, you've got to bring a peacock in. Love the fact that she wanted pink giraffes in. I mean, that's the kind of memories and the uniqueness that
Yeah.
really gives somebody the edge over a wedding day as well. You'll never forget
So the whole
that.
wedding was an arcade, essentially.
It was, arcade theming, absolutely, yes.
So even in the banqueting space, you
Yes,
had like
yeah.
pinball machines where
Yes.
guests could obviously be part of the wedding,
Lots
but
of glitter
also
balls, lots of, very art deco-y as well. So, yeah, it was very different.
wow, it's fantastic. And then flip side of that, what is the smallest wedding you've done at Froyle Park? Do
Um
you do
I would
weddings
probably
for
say
like
that's probably gonna be a 50 to an 80 wedding.
oh wow.
I mean, probably the average weddings will probably sit, and it all depends on, again, I suppose the different cultures as well. Our British weddings sit somewhere between 80 and 120, whereas I suppose our Asian weddings and Afro-Caribbean weddings will tend to sit, the 150s up to the 300s. So it's all about, certainly, yeah, the different spaces to be able to use onto the day.
And Hayley, can you talk a bit about when things don't go to plan? So, being in the events world, I mean, we're all very familiar with, things never go to plan. You can plan as much as you want. There'll always be small hiccups like the battery dies or the
Absolutely.
power goes, and those I call BAU problems. Those are the things that you can kind of
Control.
control, think about, solve. But have there been any kind of major mishaps
I suppose power cuts are one things we have absolutely no control over if the national grid goes down for the day. Thankfully, they are short and sweet. Um, the small things. I mean, there are always small things, and some. I think music's probably the biggest one, and
Yeah.
that's somebody's on their iPad trying to cue the music up for the ceremony, go walking down into the Great Hall, and they miscue their music,
Wow.
and the bridesmaids are all ready to go onto that certain beat. You kind of just got to go with the flow and just keep rolling with it as well. I think the key to being a great events management team is you're kind of 5, 10 steps ahead the whole time.
Absolutely.
It's all about the check-in, the check-in, the check-in, and then checking again. You will have batteries in your pocket. You would have already replaced them in the morning anyway.
Yeah.
You got to know that everything is absolutely on point and ready to go. Because yeah, you can't deal with the unexpected, but you can certainly deal with the things that you have probably, maybe dropped the ball before, and that's the learning process of being in events management. I mean,
Yeah.
not every wedding is perfect, but the difference is that I suppose as a guest, you wouldn't even know something has happened. The event manager keeps that flowing for you
Absolutely.
just to bring it together. We know that we may have had a glitch, but nobody else will know anything's
Absolutely. I have
happened.
these conversations.
Yeah,
I actually had a conversation with a client last week, who said, "Oh, you guys charge quite a lot for what you
yeah,
do." And I remember saying to him, "It's the behind the scenes of what
yeah,
you don't
very
see."
much so.
So it's like you say, there's a power cut. Actually, once we had a luxury event, and um the plug blew. So it wasn't the fuse, it was the whole plug that just blew. So it just sparked and the wire had come off.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as simple as finding another fuse, put it in. It was calling the team and, running around Tesco's, Matalan,
Oh
whatever those
goodness,
stores are,
yes.
right? Wilkinson, trying to find this cable like half an hour before the event. We made it happen, but it's those things which,
Yeah, and I bet you've got the
clients
spare
don't
one in the
see.
box now.
We do now. We've got about two of those. There's always one in the
Literally.
glove box in the car now. Um, so yeah, it's those bits which I suppose as a planner we make sure everything is
Yeah.
perfected, and when things do go wrong, which are bound to happen, it all happens behind the scenes. So as a couple, you don't kind of see the impact of that on the
Yeah,
day.
and I think that's where the knowledge comes from, and it's
Yeah,
using suppliers, whether it's your events management team, wedding planners, also all of the other suppliers around you, who's done the decor, the floristry, photographers, videographers. You've got experienced people
yeah,
all around you that have worked in lots of different venues. They will have also come across, little quirks that happen throughout the day, and as a team, you work very, very quickly together to be able to put that in place. If something's run over the ceremony, for example, right, and we need to delay the chefs, right, let's get another drink flowing very quickly. You'll know that that's needed 30 minutes before it's even need to be poured. So it's all about the pre-planning and putting those steps into place well ahead of anybody else thinking about them.
So we'll have a lot of listeners who are also thinking about entering the space of event management. There'll be a lot of listeners who may have other jobs or who are thinking of getting to the event space but just haven't made that big leap yet. If there's any advice that you could give them, what would that be?
I think you've got to put yourself in the moment. So, from personal experience, I've had so many staff that have sort of started waitering, waitressing, behind the bar. They've only come as a probably part-time casual role, and they're very quickly, you can see the ones that are thriving on that environment. And they've moved very, very quickly through the ranks as well, moving possibly up to bar managers and head waitresses, and then starting into the office on the event side of planning as well. I think it's always constantly asking questions and making sure you're putting yourself into that right environment. I think for me, I quickly pick up on people that are thriving, and I will really take them under my wing. And you're looking for somebody to do that basically,
Right.
because they will move you very quickly up the ladder. And I think if you're showing willing and you want to move into that role, you need a good connection with somebody that can take you on that path at the end of the day. Worked with some amazing people, and a lot of my team, as I say, that were waitresses now are
Yeah.
running their own wedding businesses. They are events managers in leading wedding venues. Yeah, you've got to find that one connection and put yourself in the
Right.
position to get that connection in place.
And then, hey, do you actively hire? I'm just thinking, given that you're an exclusive venue, one of the best kind of manor houses in Hampshire, given that you don't have restaurants where, people can come work, as part of a waiter or waitress and then work their way up. So how does someone get the opportunity to work for Froyle Park? What would be their kind of route into becoming one of your colleagues, helping you, speak to couples, show them around, show the fantastic venue around, and be part of that kind of process?
I think it's just reaching out initially.
Right.
A simple email, this is my experience, this is what I'm looking for, or I've never done anything before, but I am keen and I am eager and I'm looking for a step into that role. Reach out through people's LinkedIn pages as well, show interest. And then you'll find that, people that are enthusiastic about supporting people will always get back to them. I'm always at the end of a message. And if somebody needs help and support to be moving into the wedding industry, reach out. We're here to help and we're here to support people. We haven't got any active roles at the moment. I mean, I've literally just taken on a fabulous young lady who actually has no event management experience whatsoever. Another quirky story. I went to go and buy a car, didn't buy the car, but I offered this fabulous young lady a job. She was in the right place at the right
Wow.
time with the right enthusiasm and atmosphere about her. And I kind of thought, you need to come and join my team. So I went back the next day, I popped my phone number in her hands, and here we are today. She's working in our fabulous Froyle Park office as part of the sales team. And
Wow.
just because you don't have experience in something, I think this is a great story, and it just shows you that anybody has the opportunity. Right place at the right time, and it's that spark between two people that can take you through that next step.
So it's not necessarily that someone needs to get a degree in hospitality
And
to be a senior executive within the kind of event management space.
I don't believe so. I think yes. I'm not knocking
Absolutely.
any courses and degrees, but I think very much within the hospitality industry, it is experience and key experience, and the lower you've actually started within a role, the more experience that you will gain. I mean, I've had my hands in the kitchen sink, I've scrubbed floors, I've
Yeah.
worked my way up, I've done every possible job that that is needed on a wedding day and in the kitchens. That grounds me as a person to be able to, as I say, jump onto absolutely everything. We're kind of going, oh, that's not my job. Everything is your job on a wedding day. And that's where
So true.
it really makes the difference between a person A and person B.
So, Haley, could you tell me a time when a wedding hasn't gone to plan?
I've got one great story actually. So it's not about the couple fell out. It's about that we had a baby instead. So our bride turned up on the wedding
Wow.
day, ready to start hair and makeup and start her dress fitting, and she was quite heavily pregnant at the time,
Wow.
and she obviously booked the venue a couple of years beforehand, and kind of thought everything will be fine. It will all fall into place. So registrars turned up, and they were just about to start to the interviews, and I could see I kept popping in to see our bride into the morning into the little hideaway, and
Hideaway. I still love that name. Sorry.
but she was starting definitely to have contractions onto the day.
Wow.
So we called pause at that moment, called an ambulance, but that didn't arrive in time. So we got her straight into the car with a member of the team and took her up to the local hospital, which thankfully was only 5 minutes up the road. And
Wow.
groom arrived. I had to go and let him know that he actually wasn't getting married today, that he was having a baby instead. So we had to get him very
Oh,
quickly down to the hospital. And I had to make a big announcement to everybody to say,
my God.
bad news, we're not having a wedding, but great news, there's a baby on the way. And it was lovely actually, because our groom came back about 8 o'clock into the evening. You could imagine the cheers and the celebrations. But it was really nice. The day carried on as normal. The canapes and the drinks happened.
You paid for it. Absolutely. Celebrate the
We
baby.
sat down and enjoyed the wedding breakfast, and we did the speeches. So
Wow.
when the groom came back, it was just big celebrations. And our couple came back about 2 months later. We did a lovely celebration for
Oh,
them,
that's
nice
cute.
and intimate, and they brought the little baby.
Oh, beautiful for those pictures.
So yeah, quite a memory.
Perfect. So I know we've talked a lot about wedding planning, the logistics, when things go to plan, when things don't go to plan. Do you have any kind of tips in terms of styles or any kind of trends that you're seeing a lot of these days, especially on, I suppose, those kind of Asian events? What would be your kind of biggest design tip that you could give our listeners?
I would definitely say it's all about the decor these days, and
Okay,
it's using your budgets wisely. You want to pick up the focal points. So for Froyle Park, for example, you would be decorating the fireplace, the staircase, and obviously your table centerpieces as well, and certainly the dome for the photographs as well.
absolutely. Yeah.
The rest of the venue speaks for itself. It's beautifully decorated. You've got so many fabulous photo opportunities. So it's use budgets wisely and making sure that you're investing your money into those right key locations and things that are just simply not going to get missed. I mean, wedding planning is a massive jigsaw puzzle. We start with our little corner pieces and we get the planning into place.
Yeah.
That's your venue, organizing your caterers and getting the wedding dresses. And then all those key elements just start to come together.
Right. And if there's one tip that you can give our couples, if they're, let's just say they're 6 to 9 months ahead of planning their wedding, what is the biggest tip you'd give them?
I would just say, take a breath and take your time and
Right.
lean on the people that are around you with the knowledge as well. Don't try and do everything in one moment. Suppliers work brilliantly together, and definitely, whichever venue you are choosing, use suppliers that know the venue. You want people that are going to come straight into a venue to be able to go straight into action and not treat it as a school day. I don't know where to park. I don't know where to go and unload. It's all of that knowledge that makes your day flow seamlessly. I mean, we can have couples that will phone our suppliers and say, I want that over there in that direction by that window, and they get it. They know exactly what you're
Yeah.
talking about. And I think that's the things that makes the wedding planning so easy. Use knowledgeable key suppliers.
So, Haley, you talked about suppliers. Do you think that couple should definitely have a wedding planner in place?
Absolutely. I think it just makes the planning process and the liaison between the couple, the suppliers, and that's all of the suppliers and the venue, so absolutely seamlessly. And you know that the information that you're going to be handing over is clear and concise and it gets written down and it's followed up and it's actioned onto the day as well. And I think that trust and knowledge, certainly wedding planners, wedding coordinators, is such a key factor. Our couples are busy people these
Yeah,
days. They've
definitely.
got work, they've got lives to organise as well. And I think, having somebody that can take a massive weight off of you to be able to relax onto the morning. I see so many couples that don't get wedding planners and
Yeah.
they are rushing around in the morning. They're putting their own little favours out and organising the name cards. And you think, you should be chilled. You should, at this stage, be sat in that lovely hideaway, sat back into your chair, getting your hair and makeup done rather than running around and getting hot and sweaty. So most definitely invest in a wedding planner. I think that's absolutely one of the key things to get.
And do you have a panel of wedding planners you work with?
We have quite a few, and I have to say they're all key and knowledgeable to the venue as well. And same again, use people that know the space.
So, Haley, in terms of wedding trends then and design inspiration for our clients and our listeners, what would you say is in fashion at the moment when it comes to staging and decorating the perfect wedding space?
So, I suppose it's gone more probably pastel and light colours, which work again for Floral Park really beautifully.
The elegance.
Very much the
Yeah.
elegance, and it's keeping that one consistent colour working through the venue as well. I think probably one of the biggest change is sort of table decorations. We get a lot of the tea lights, the candles within the venue now, which work brilliantly throughout the day. And you tend to find that you used to have kind of very low setting with arrangements, and I think people tend to mix and match those with high standing flowers now as well. You'll get beautiful voiles and drapes, which is again another big trend coming in at the moment, setting behind kind of top tables, and also kind of an Instagram moment as well. So there's always a lovely backdrop where people can go and get those lovely pictures onto the day. I think the dry eyes for the first dance. You've got your
Absolutely.
cold sparks for the first dance.
Yeah.
Always really brilliant moments. So I think, yeah, again, lots of little trickles coming in at the moment. Monogram dance floor is again
I was
another
going to ask about
really big,
lasers,
yeah.
lighting.
Yeah, so it's again, it's using that space and bringing some color in it, and that's where the lighting is absolutely fantastic. And certainly during the day, obviously you've got the light brights coming through into Floral Park into the ballroom. You want to create a completely different atmosphere into the evening, which gives you a sense of a new space within that room as well. And lighting is absolutely essential for that as well. So that's where the audio companies and the sort of the DJs will bring in their vision as well. I'm a fan of a good old glitter ball every day of the week.
And I suppose, for our couples planning their weddings, I suppose if they've got a planner, it's the planner who they need to speak to in terms of, this is my design inspiration, this is what I want to have, rather than try and source all of these vendors themselves.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, again, they've got the experience. They know what works and what doesn't work. And again, that's where Instagram comes in.
Yeah,
It's lovely to go and look at other people's weddings and their styling to say, I love that. I don't like this. This works. That
that's it.
doesn't.
Absolutely. Any kind of go-to planners that you'd say?
I think the best company at the moment would definitely be the events planners. They are knowledgeable, on point, they get the job done. They've got an incredible relationship with our couples.
Yeah.
And more importantly, they know the venue. And I think that works so brilliantly with the team in place.
Yeah, I think that knowing the venue is so key, even if it comes to small things. I think I was at Froyle Park, no, I think I was there on Sunday, and even I remember the first time I was there, how do I turn these lights
Yeah.
off? How there's like
Yeah.
5
I
settings, or
know.
maybe more than 5. I think there's like 10 settings, and it's like chandelier on, chandelier off, stage lighting on. There's so many elements.
There are.
What 2 buttons do I need to press together to
Yeah.
turn them all off?
And it's
It's
exactly
small
that,
things like
isn't it?
that.
It is. It's how do I open the door? Where do I park my car? Turning the
Yeah.
lights off. You're right, the chandelier lights. I think there's more than 10 switches onto those ones as well, and brightness and bringing them down. So yeah, you want people that can walk in, get the job done, and not have to call for help.
And so, Hayley, what do you think is the most overlooked aspect of wedding planning that most couples overlook?
I would say not getting one. Get a brilliant wedding planner. I think that's the key thing. Don't be doing it all yourself.
Yeah.
The knowledge, I'll keep going back to the knowledge, and it really is. You are looking for experience. You are looking for somebody that's juggled every single possible hat, that has got attention to detail, that is 10 steps ahead of you the whole way through, and that you haven't even got to look around to double check that a candle's been lit. They are on it, and making sure that your investment into them, and that money being well spent onto a wedding day, everything has come together for you beautifully.
So, I suppose moving away from now styling decor to, I suppose, one of the key things that each couple is thinking about, which is the purse strings. When it comes to the average kind of cost of a wedding at Froyle Park, what would that kind of cost a couples?
We can offer lots of different opportunities for couples to come and enjoy their wedding day at Froyle Park, starting from sort of January, £7,000, moving up into high season into
Right.
August on a Saturday. You're looking at £19,000. So that gives you a full dry hire of the venue, exclusive use. And that obviously the house, the ballroom, the outdoor terrace, and then you've got the hideaway, the groom's room, honeymoon suite, and all of your accommodation for 66 guests in total
And that's
to
all
stay there,
inclusive.
all included into that package.
So
So it's
£9,000 low season January,
£7,000. Yep,
7,000 low season January. You get
yep,
the whole Manor estate,
everything. Yeah, I
the
mean,
whole
people
place
can't
dry
believe that
hired.
that's everything all
Wow.
included. And then the great news is that we work alongside around about 18 different caterers, that they will come in and look after your wedding as well. And you'll find that most caterers and decor teams have got brilliant links with them as well. So when
Yeah.
you're looking at budgets, you'll tend to find if you're working with a certain caterer, they can give you a direct recommendation for a supplier that's generally on our books anyway. And joining together, you'll tend to find that you'll get a discounted rate from them as well. So it's doing your homework. And again, this is where sort of the events planners come into place to be able to offer that advice. And they've worked with amazing suppliers, and they will be able to help you get the incredible best value for money.
Yeah.
Wedding budgets are there for a reason at the end of the day, and we try to, or a couple will try to stay within the realms of their budgets, because otherwise you can get so very carried away and taken advantage of. It's really working with the key planners to be able to bring the best advice and get the very best deals for you.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I think is quite overlooked. And even when I plan my own wedding, I get a lot of kind of couples that say to us, "Oh, but having a planner costs us X, Y, Z."
Yeah.
But it's actually the economies of scale and the negotiation they're able to do on your behalf. So, as an example, if I'm organising 100 events at Froyle Park, I'm sure I can give you a call, Hayley, or Doug a call and say, "Well, I want 20% off all of my events."
We
Right?
will certainly try to help.
Versus, I suppose, Joe Blogs just coming,
Very much so. And
one
again,
time event and that's it.
and it's those collaborations
Exactly.
that really bring the community together,
Yeah.
and the suppliers groups together. We work really closely, to make sure that everybody, is very much being looked after, and that the couples are getting their booking, and also that our suppliers are getting the bookings as well.
Fine. So I know you've talked about low season, 7,000 dry hire in, let's say, January. What would be the kind of average dry hire in peak season? So let's just say middle of July.
So we're looking anything from 15,000 up to about 19,000. So that's your Fridays and Sundays, so
Right.
the Saturday being a 19,000 as well. I mean, the honest answer is you're not getting anything different from a £7,000 January low season wedding,
Supply and
but it's
demand.
all about absolutely. There's only 52 Saturdays in a year, and they're the ones that obviously are the prime dates for our couples as well.
And when is it you would say couples need to start booking the venue? How far in advance?
We're finding bookings are absolutely flying at the moment as well. We've had
Right.
an incredibly great season when we're doing 170 weddings a year at the
Wow.
moment, and bookings are coming in thick and fast as well. So again, we are incredibly lucky with an amazing spring this year as well, and it's come nice and early for us. And we find that because the weather's been absolutely amazing within April and May this year, bookings are absolutely flying out for 2026 as well. Just taken our first 2028
Wow.
booking as well. So again, it's all about,
2028.
2028.
Wow.
It's all about key dates, isn't it? If a couple have got a date that they got engaged on, they're looking to secure that wedding venue on that
Yeah.
date as well. Obviously, a lot of couples are obviously waiting on the auspicious dates to come through as well. Tend to find they may be a little bit more short notice as well. I mean, we do a little bit of everything from 3 months down the road to, 2.5 years down the road.
So would you say couples need to start booking the venue, what, a year in advance, 6 months in
Yeah, I would
advance?
say a year in advance is a good timeline. And certainly if you're
Wow.
looking to book the Hampshire registrars to come and do the civil ceremony part of the day as well, it's obviously, again, very important that you get your timings booked in with the Hampshire registrars. Everybody wants to get married within the 1 to the 2 p.m. zone. They've
Yeah.
obviously only got a certain amount of those slots. So again, it's booking the venue, booking the Hampshire registrars, getting your catering secured.
Right. And I suppose we've spoken a bit about cost of the dry hire. Could you give our listeners a bit of insight into what is the kind of average cost of planning a wedding? Maybe we can talk about average cost of a Western wedding
Yeah,
versus
absolutely.
average cost of a a Asian wedding.
So I think our British couples, their costs will probably be slightly inflated, I have to say,
Right.
and that's generally because of the food element side of things as well. You're looking probably somewhere between 120, 140 per person food alone for a British couple,
Right.
whereas you tend to find our Indian caterers will do a fabulous, sort of canapes, three-course meal, anywhere from £45 a head to 60 a head. Obviously, massive different in
Yeah.
sort of guest numbers as well, when you're looking at 80 versus 300 guests coming through the door. So I think it helps certainly, with the Indian caterers, they're offering really great value for money. And certainly when we come to fusion couples, where we might have an Indian groom or a British bride, you tend to find they will always lean on Indian caterers for best value for money. And I think also with the traditional side of things as well, those elements will absolutely come through the day, as I say, with the dole and the manduk ceremonies or the nikah ceremonies as well.
Yeah.
It's so lovely to be able to see all of that.
So, Haley, do you have a particular extravagant case study of a couple planning a wedding at Froyle Park? What that looked like and what that costed?
Yeah, absolutely. So you're probably looking at a 4-day Indian wedding event, where they're
Right.
hosting all of those different fabulous sort of reception and mendi throughout that sort of period. I would say somewhere along the lines of around about 60,000 for dry hire venue
Right.
only.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's actually very
yeah,
reasonable because when I have couples, especially Indian couples who approach us and ask us, what is the average cost of a wedding? I normally say in the UK, the average cost of a wedding is anything between 25 to 50K
yeah.
for a Western wedding. But when it comes to Indian events where you have 4 days worth of pre-wedding events, the wedding day itself, most Indian couples these days also want to have both a Western ceremony and also
Yes,
an Indian
yeah.
ceremony. I normally then say anything above 50K, but more towards 100K if you definitely want receptions, you want, Sangeet ceremonies, all of these extra elements. And then, especially if you want something which is really like, really wow, then you're looking north of 100,000 is the way I kind of see.
Yes, yeah, with all the other elements included as well, when you're looking at sort of the DJs, the decor, all
Absolutely.
hair, makeup, especially. Yeah, it can certainly add up very, very quickly.
What is that one piece of advice apart from having a planner which you think actually a lot of couples slip up on, and what is that one piece of advice that we can give them?
I think probably not booking early enough, and organising suppliers quickly enough and
Right.
leaving it to the last moment. There are an incredibly massive amount of suppliers out there, but there are good ones and not so good ones. You want to make sure that you're getting your booking in nice and early with the right key suppliers as well. So it's starting communication early. Everybody's starts that very first step following the engagement. Starting to look at wedding venues, then your next step will be looking at your caterers as well. It's tying all of that together lovely and early, getting those bookings in place and allowing yourself enough time to do the wedding planning onto the day.
So, what would you say is the most rewarding part of the job?
I love weddings. I could talk about weddings all day long, and it is working with, I have to say, an elite group of co-workers who dedication and hearts are all in the right place as well. It's to be able to bring all of those people together, from the sales side of things and the show rounds, housekeeping team, the ground staff. Everybody works so hard to make sure that that wedding comes together, including the operations team as well. We've got so many collaborations, with staffing within that group as well. And, we've all got the same goal in mind to create memories that absolutely last a lifetime.
And then I suppose what's next for you? Because of course your career, you've come from commis chef to head chef. You've obviously made your way into the, wedding executive management space. What's next for you?
I have to say, my heart is absolutely dedicated to Froyle Park at the moment, and to see the venue grow just in the last 2 years, I have to be it's really spectacular. So previously, it was obviously a hotel. The new owners have invested heavily into the property, new decor, new chandeliers, and wall lights, and pamper rooms, and grooms room, and that progress is just going to keep more moving forward for the certainly for the next 6 months to two
Wow.
years. We've always got a little project in the sidelines, so I won't reveal those because we like our wow moments to come out on socials.
Can I
Um,
just get a sneak preview in terms of what's next?
Possibly the honeymoon suite.
The hideaway.
No, the honeymoon suite now. So this is where the couple were going to retire to into the evening.
Oh wow.
So
And
it
that'll
is,
be upstairs.
yeah. So it's. I mean, it's absolutely outstanding and spectacular at the moment. We've got a few little plans in the pipeline as well for that one.
Fantastic. Great. Before we let you go, if there's one piece of final advice you could leave our couples listening, what would that final advice be? Something that you haven't really mentioned.
I think really enjoy the day. I think, don't sweat the small stuff. Look at the bigger picture. You are surrounded by friends, family, and loved ones. Embrace every single moment of the day. If a candle is not lit, just walk past by it and go give somebody a big hug.
Great. Thank you so much. Perfect. So, Hayley, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on another episode of Behind the Proposal and Before the Aisle. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for all your insights, hints, tips, and your experience. I hope you've enjoyed it too.
I have had an amazing time. Thank you so much, Ricky. And to be part of the wonderful fairy tale proposals and the event planners, we have a fabulous collaboration and can't look forward to an amazing time ahead.
Fantastic.